Hello and welcome. Today we're going to look at kdenlive, the free and open source video editor for Windows and Linux and Mac. It's pretty good, even when compared to commercial ones, I think. We're going to look at how to add videos to it, how to put them in a timeline, how to cut the video, resize the video. Same with audio. We're going to replace the video audio with music, or add it to it, mix it to it, or add it together, mix them together. We're going to look at how to mute audio and change the volume, make it quieter or louder. We're going to add images, for example, a simple intro, logo. We're going to fade it in, fade out, and we're going to add more video files, more audio files, and crossfade between them. We're going to speed up and slow down video and audio, and we're going to use some effects. Crop to show videos next to each other. We're going to scale video to create a picture-in-picture effect, and we're going to use keyframes to move images or video around the screen. We're going to also use these to make a short animation just with an image, and we're going to export the video into a video file. People call it render, sometimes they call it upload or download the video, a lot of terms. We're also going to save a project, figure out the difference between a video export and a video project save file, and we're going to make a slideshow with images and music. What you should do is bookmark this video. Usually the shortcut for that is Ctrl-D, so that you can look at this video anytime you need to refresh your memory, or when you do one thing, then you can continue with the next step. Just save it to your bookmarks and come back later. If you have any questions, just ask them in the comments of this video. Many of my tutorials are actually based on people asking me questions in the comments, so that's super useful, especially if others also have the same question. Also, make sure to subscribe to this channel to support it. And one more thing, we're going to also learn how to install kdenlive. If you haven't yet, I'm going to start the tutorial as if you already have, but at the end of this, you can skip ahead if you want, I will show you how to install kdenlive, because it can be complicated, currently at least on Windows, but I'm just going to show you real quick how to do it. When you watch that, you should come back to the beginning, and for that you might want, as I said, to bookmark the video. Anyways, we're going to get started. Here we have kdenlive, and here is a window, Windows Explorer with some image files. We've got two PNG images with transparency. This is just an arrow image, and this is just a logo or banner with some text. Then we have 6 photos. These 3 are completely different regarding resolution and aspect ratio. These 3 are identical, 1920 by 1080. And we're going to make slideshows out of these, so we will see how easy it is with standardized images, and we're going to fix those that are not in standard to make them look good still. We have 2 music files, MP3 format, and we have 4 video files, MP4 format, as it was created by my video camera. We're going to start by dragging one of the video files. Just grab it and drag it into the project bin of kdenlive over here, into the area that is dark with name. And we're going to start working with that. We're just going to drag this to a timeline. Got to release it in here, and we can drag it around. We can also zoom in with Control and mouse wheel, or using this slider over here. That's right, and we can resize it. We can grab one of the edges and move it to the center, because we cannot extend it, because that's where the video file ends. We didn't record more than 14 seconds here, but we can shorten it. And because at the end, if we look at this, I just move my camera down, which is very, very bad. We're just gonna move this over here. Yeah, that's good. So it ends abruptly before I do that camera movement. To preview the video as I do now, you can press the play button or hit space on the keyboard. And space should also start playback, but currently for some reason there's some kind of bug that prevents it from happening. So you have to hit space, then this turns into a pause icon, and then you can click somewhere, and then it will actually play back. So if you think your kdenlive is broken, I don't know, some kind of glitch, you just have to press space to start playback and then click somewhere, and it actually does start. So let's not worry about that. We're going to do another modification to this clip in the timeline. The timeline is the area down here. We're going to just cut it. For this, we're going to use this tool, it's the razor tool, my bad. So we can press X on the keyboard or click this icon, and now we have this little red line with which we can cut a clip. And I just clicked here. I'm going to switch back to the select tool with S and click on this one. I can right click and delete selected item, or I can hit the delete key on the keyboard. Both works. Now I'm going to just drag this to the left, and here we have our cropped or shortened clip. Actually, I'm going to move this a little more. Alright, so here we have one clip and it has audio, as you can hear. So now let's add an audio file. We're gonna get this window back and just drag in the music file into the project bin as well. Here we go. The music file we're gonna drag down here. Let me just move it a bit down so we only see these three tracks, this video track and these two audio tracks. And we're gonna move the music down here actually. And I'm gonna use the cut tool again around this area. Now this area selected, I'll just right click this time, right click delete. And again, I'll resize this. It snaps a little to this area where the other clip ends, so that's very comfortable. And now let's play this back and listen to it. A bit loud. So first thing we want to do is reduce the volume of the music track. For this we use an effect. We are already in the effects pane, panel or tab, and we're going to just search for gain. That's the simple volume adjustment filter or effect. There's also volume, which allows keyframes, but we just need something simple as gain. So let's put it down here. And now in this panel, we have in the properties, we have a setting, which is just the gain. We can set it to a percentage. For example, 10% would be a bit little, I think. Let's check it out. Yeah, it's way too much. Not enough volume on that one. Let's set it to 25 and try it out. Yeah, this is good. Alright, so maybe you still hear the clicking of of me touching the camera. I think that's what it is. Next up, let's resize the area a little. Yeah, this is actually enough. We just want to see another track, another video track. We're gonna add an image file to this whole deal. We're gonna add the logo. Let's just drag it in here. And away you go. I'm just gonna select all these clips using Shift and left click drag. And then I'm going to drag them to the right, and then I'm going to add this image file over here. Default duration, I think, is 5 seconds. You can adjust that in the settings. I'm just going to resize it a little and move these back over here. I'm going to move the music back here, resize it again. And now let's take a look. So now we just have this image at the beginning, and then it just switches to the snow leopard immediately. Now that's a possible solution, but we can also layer them. We can just like we had the sounds of the environment together with the music, we can have multiple images and videos on top of each other. So we're gonna just move the image to another video track, and the video I moved back to the left. Now they're on top of each other. So now we can see both the logo and the video. And as you can see, it's just there from the beginning and then it abruptly disappears. So we can do something about that by adding a transition. For that, we're going to switch to the Transitions tab, and here we're going to just use the Dissolve transition. Let's see, where is that thing? Over here. We're just going to drag it onto the left end of this clip, the logo clip, the image clip, and to the right end of that clip. And automatically they work. If you look at this area, the reverse feature is disabled for this one and enabled for this one automatically, depending on where you drag it. And we're just gonna play this back. Come on now. So it faded in, and it faded out. Let's see it again. Fade in, fade out. So this is already much nicer. Now we're gonna save a project because we made a little bit of progress. Let's not lose that, just in case kdenlive decides to crash. As you can see here, we have 14 items in this folder. I'm just gonna copy this path so we can easily paste it into the save dialog. We're gonna create a new file here which will save a project, the project is the arrangement of all these files, transitions, the settings of the transitions, the filters, like how much volume did we set here, this all gets saved in an XML file. Don't worry about that, it's just a project file, right? So let's hit save. There's a logo here, you can also go to File, Save, or Save As. I'm gonna hit this. And I'm just gonna call this Remember to Subscribe. And it will automatically add the .kdenlive ending. So if we look at this, now we have 15 items in this folder, and the new one is this, the .kdenlive file here. Basically, if we now quit the project and then restart kdenlive, then we can just hit open and just double-click this file that we just saved, and it will restore the project again. So if you don't finish everything in one setting, or want to reuse your work, or just keep it to be safe, then that's the way to go. Alright, what we're going to do now is we're going to add one more video file and one more audio file. Let's drag in these two files. We can drag in multiple at the same time. And get this away again. And we're going to add the video file down here. We're going to keep the audio track attached, just cause. Alright, here we have a tiger. And we're going to cut over here where he enters the light. So let's use the razor tool, X, and click. We can zoom in with Control mouse wheel to be extra close to make it really precise. And then back to the S tool, select, and right click, delete, and drag it to the left. And what we're also going to do is, let's scroll down a little, we're going to resize the first music again. And we're going to add the second track. This was folk, now add country. Now let's just play this back. Snow leopard, snow leopard, snow, and tiger, tiger, tiger. And that was a really strong cut, especially since we changed both. So now let's take care of the video first. For this we're going to move one of the clips to the layer above the other video. And we're going to add the dissolve filter again. It's that easy, really. And now if we watch this, there we go. So we took care of the video part. That was much softer. We can also add other transitions. Let's delete this one. We can also hit the delete key on the keyboard for this. For example, one type of popular transition are wipes. Let's click on that. In the properties pane we can switch what kind of wipe we use. Let's take a look. This is from left to right. I think we need to mute the music for now. And we can set the softness, because this one was very sharp. If we set it to 50. Let's test this. Oh, that was very soft. We can actually extend this by making the overhang much longer, and now we can better take a look at this. So here, very, very soft. Maybe way too soft. Let me just do this. Okay, I think it didn't apply immediately. Softness down to 5. Yeah, this is much nicer actually. But we can also change the wipe method. We can have some kind of crazy movements going on. Oh boy. Maybe with a bit more softness this is more endurable. Well, anyways, that's the options you have. There's a lot of them. Go crazy. Would be nice. Alright, so now let's take care of the music. For this we're gonna just scroll down. And I think it's time to add another audio track, but not really. Actually, you know what, let's just get rid of the background audio completely. We're gonna mute this track, and this one we're gonna delete. For this we need to split these two clips because they're attached to one another. Let's just ungroup them. Ctrl-Shift-G. And now we can delete this audio clip. Delete selected item. And now let's try to put them on top of another and crossfade between them. Now, as far as I understand, we have to use a different method here. We will have to add fades manually. Let's add a fade in to the one on top and fade out to the one at the bottom. And now we can click there. It's very, I mean, there is no indicator. I think it was disabled or doesn't work on Windows, but you can just drag it over there, there, and it should be fine. Let's disable the mute, enable the volume again, and try it out. There you go. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Let's actually drag this so we extend to the duration of the wipe. And extend these fade-ins, fade-outs. We can also adjust them here, but it's actually kind of nice here because I think it snaps. Not sure if it snaps, but it is nice to do it visually. So here we go. Let's test it. Yeah, this is good. Except this track is now too loud, so let's get back to the gain filter, drag it over here, set it to 25%. And you know, I really don't like the clock. Let's try the burst, why not? Let's check it out. Yeah, I can dig that. Alright, so that's a lot of progress already. Let's just hit the save button in case kdenlive goes south. And now we're gonna, first of all, let's shorten this just so that the project isn't crazy long. And now we're gonna add yet another clip so we can play around with it. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're gonna use the yawn clip. Oh yeah, that's looking good. We're gonna put it over here. It still has the audio track, which I actually want there to be. Let's take a look at this. Ah yeah, that was really good timing. I was lucky to get this at all. So because it was such a precious moment, actually, this is a perfect opportunity to try out the next effect, the next filter, which is slomo, or speed up, fast forward. Depending on which you prefer, we can just enter speed in the effects tab in the search and just drag it on there. And if we change the speed here, let's say to 50%, you can already see it extended, it doubled its length. We now play this back. Alright. Yeah, we can see it's much slower. And if you pay attention, the audio is also slowed down. That's pretty impressive. Now, if you don't want that, you will have to split the audio, ungroup them, and then only, you know, slow down the video. Oh yeah, that lie down. Nice. Alright, so we can also do the opposite. We can increase this to maybe 300%. And then you will see it'll get shorter. Yep. And if we play it back now... Here we go. Yep, both the video and the audio are super fast now. That's how easy it is. One word of warning though, this effect can create instabilities in a project, at least it did so often in the past for me. So you might want to wait until the very end of a project, or at least keep a lot of saves, before you add all the speed effects that you need. So let's just try it out on music. I think, I tried it out once, it was super funny. Alright, so here we have it. Yep. And if we slow it down... Oh boy. Alright, what's with minus... Alright, so this is something I didn't actually realize. You can actually apparently invert stuff. So let's go for minus 100. I think we can now reverse clips. Yeah, this is quite laggy, but I think the sound is definitely inverted. There's this classic weird clicking. And now let's see. Yeah, it's getting up, and now it's gonna start yawning, right? And then the video's gonna end. Yep, wow, I didn't know kdenlive had it in itself. Awesome. So you can just set negative numbers here. Minus 100% is exactly reversed, but you can also change the speed and invert at the same time. That's quite advanced. Very impressive. Let me hit that save button again, and you should hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet, of course. Alright, so next up we're gonna check out some effects. We already tried out the speed effect, we tried out the gain effect for audio. Now we're gonna try out something to manipulate image in image. We have these transitions, but they are, you know, just transitions. What if we want two videos at the same time, or video and image? First, let's add a video file. Alright, this is the sleepy one. We haven't used that yet. And we're gonna just zoom in a little. Alright, and now we're gonna add the sleepy video over here. I'm gonna remove this. I don't want this reversed. This was very laggy. So it's yawning, and then at the same time there will be the sleepy one. Yeah, this kind of matches sleepy and sleeping. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna make this one smaller. And what we're gonna do first is we're gonna just scale it down. For this we're gonna use the transform effect. And the crop and transform, drag it on here and drop it. And all we have to do now in here is change the size. We can click size, the word, and scale it. We can also enter a number, like 55, or we can drag it by the corners, and it actually keeps the aspect ratio. I think that's because of this. Let's see if we disable that. Yeah, we can now change it, but I mean the picture stays because distort is not enabled. But if we enable distort, we can even do that. But why would you do that? That's not nice. So let's let's reset this real quick into 0 and keep the aspect ratio, and we're gonna just resize it and then drag it by the center, the top right. And if we play this back now, yeah, we just have picture in picture. That's what this effect is usually called, I think. So that's one of the many basic effects that people like to do, like gameplay video and then having their face there. For example, we're gonna do a similar one. We're just gonna add both videos again. Actually, the other way around this time. This time we're gonna edit the yawn. Let's zoom in there. So now, what we're gonna do is add a different effect. We're gonna use the crop. Edge crop, it's called. It's a bit weird if we add it here and then start cropping, for example, on the left. Then automatically, and also on the right, automatically it gets centered, and even though this is disabled. So that's a bit strange, but, and this has no effect, the center balance thing. So I think the effect is partially broken, but it's fine. We can just easily add the transform effect as well. We can combine multiple ones. We can actually make this small. Transform next. Alright? And we can just click the X and drag it to the right, for example. Yeah, so that's one thing one might want to do. And we could also do the same with this clip. Actually, I think that transform is more appropriate here. Let's just move it a bit to the left. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I like this. Man. Kdenlive is pretty good. Unfortunately, it gets laggy. It's not very performant, unfortunately. Now, let me show you an advanced thing about these effects, about, for example, the picture-in-picture thing. You see here a little timeline in this effect. And what do you know? Kdenlive crashed, so let me just close the program. Let's see, there is actually quite good backup feature in Kdenlive. Let's open it up, our project. Did it just... Here it is. Autosave file exists. Let's see if it actually... Come on. Okay, cannot open the project file. Error, unexpected end of file. That's weird. And I don't understand why open backup and recover. Okay, let's try this again. Let's do this again. I think it thinks it opened it, but it didn't. Alright, so we're back to this, where we had the speed at negative... I thought it was negative 100. Oh well. So, I hope this shows you the importance of saving. Anyways, we have this clip, and we're gonna add the sleepy clip, because we edited it later. Video sleepy. And here we go. And we're gonna add the transform effect to the sleepy one, and we're back on track. Let's do it 33%. Drag it over yonder. So what we're gonna do now is we can... Let me just save. We can use this middle little timeline. Oh, don't crash on me now. To move around the timeline. And this dot over there, that's a keyframe. We can add keyframes. And that means that we can change all these parameters between keyframes, and then while the time progresses between them, the numbers automatically change. And we can jump between these keyframes with these icons over here. See now? One. What is that? I guess it jumps to the end as well. So let's actually delete this keyframe, jump to the end, add a keyframe here. And what we're going to do is we're going to just move it to the left. We can actually use the visual editor as well. And you can see the red line shows us where it starts and where it ends. And if we jump over here and play back, you can see that this picture-in-picture actually slowly moves to the left. And what we can do is we can add additional keyframes and change the position up. Depending on the position, the speed changes also. We can add more keyframes. And yeah, let's try this one out. So first it moves down over here. Very slow. And then it goes back up. And then back to the left. So that's the thing. Not very useful for picture-in-picture video in my opinion, but very useful for simple animations, which we're going to do right now. We're going to back to the front. And if you remember, we have this logo which dissolves in, transitions into the video and then out. And what we're going to do besides that, we're going to make it move into the picture and then out of the picture. For this, we're going to click on the image and add the transform filter. We can actually draw it over here in properties. I'll first resize a little bit because we only need one track. Alright, good preview. And now we can actually hide the track, the video track below it, and then all these transitions will be disabled and we can see our image where it is. We can just enable this back and it'll work. So let's save a project. Let's zoom in a bunch. You can use the mouse wheel to move left, right. Okay, so now we have the whole image, the 4 seconds that it shows on the whole width of our timeline. And now we're gonna just manipulate, I mean we're gonna add keyframes. Let's just go to the very end, add one keyframe, go to maybe 1 second. Nah, let's go for 15 frames. Do we see how many, where do we see that? Alright, here we see which frame we're at. 15 is good. Let's add a keyframe here. Let's get to the end, and 24 minus 15 should be 0.9. Let's go one more to the left. I can use arrow keys as well. And add a keyframe here. And between these keys, we don't want it to move. But we want, at the very beginning, it to be out of the picture on the left. And at the very end, click, click, click. We want it to be out of the picture to the right. Oop. Again, X and drag, and that's good. Let's check this out. Alright, you saw that, and now it's going to move to the right. So this is already pretty good, but we can do better. A rather relatively recent addition is non-linear keyframes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to each of these keyframes and set it to smooth, because it'll look much better. Alright, once this is done, let's go to the beginning and play back. So it goes in, jiggles a little, and goes out. It's non-linear, basically. I don't know which function they use. Exponential? Something like that. In any case, it looks much more natural, and that's awesome. If we have fun, yeah, we can have more fun with it. We can, this one is move. We can move it, like add another keyframe in the middle, move it a bit to a little up, a bit non-symmetrical. Let's see what happens with this interesting path. Let's try it out. Yeah, just shaky, not very readable. Not very good if you want people to be able to read your stuff. But fun. And this is how you can do a very simple intro animation just with an image file. And kdenlive, of course. Alright, we're pretty much at the end of all the basics. Remember, ask questions if you have specific questions or general questions about kdenlive and video editing. What we're going to do now is we're going to, first of all, save a project, as always, and now we're going to export this. Export, render, and some people call it upload or download. I would advise against using the terms upload or download a video. when you're talking about a video editor. But hey, go nuts with your vocabulary. We have a render button over here. We can also go to, let's see, I think it's in project render, control return, control enter, and then we get this window. I'm just gonna copy the path from this window again, paste it in here. Actually, let's double check. Yeah, that's the location. So a little problem with the visual style. We could actually change the visual style here in settings and then style. Wait a second, style is a different thing. I'm talking about theme. So let's switch to breeze. We are currently using breeze dark. Now we're gonna use breeze. It doesn't really work for everything. Not immediately, at least. We might have to restart. But if you prefer light, that's the way to go. I, for one, am gonna switch back to breeze dark. But there's a lot of stuff you can do, like something grayish. I think the name is a Windows reference. Wonton? What's that? Oh, that's nice. Nah, maybe a bit too neutral. And what's this? Zion. Interesting. I don't even know all of these. Super dark. No thanks. Let's go back to breeze dark. I mean, as much as webm is awesome, MP4 using H.264 is the best format if you want, if you're talking about speed versus quality. If you're just talking about quality, webm VP9 might be okay. I don't know if it all works on Windows yet. MP4 works. webm might not work, I'm not sure. I haven't tried it yet. We're gonna just go with MP4 H.264. You can take a look at the details of what you're gonna export by clicking this, more options. Then we have the settings over here. And quality is always confusing to me. I think right is better, because video quality for H.264 videos has some weird configuration where lower numbers are higher quality. So let's just do this. And yeah, let's just hit the render to file button, and it switches to the job queue. Actually, you could create scripts, and then these scripts, you could start them in here, and then they would render one after the other. Very useful. But for now, we're just gonna wait until it renders. These predictions are never really accurate. Oh yeah, we do have a bunch of stuff in this project we shouldn't have. We should have deleted some stuff, but it's fine. Meanwhile, I think we didn't give this... Oh, I realized we didn't actually give this video file a proper file name, so it actually used the folder name as a file name. Let me just get that file. So here it is. It tells us that it took 1 minute to render this 1 minute video, I think? 1 minute and 30 seconds. Because we kept a lot of stuff. Here it is. If we play this back... we can see our mistake immediately. I kept this off, so all the video tracks... So all the video clips on track 1 were not rendered. That's hilarious. Let's just take a look at this again. Yeah, the tiger is there, but everything else is gone. That was... Oh, okay, and this guy is floating around. Silly me. So as you can see, I turned that back on, and now we're just gonna get rid of some of this. We're just gonna... yeah, crop all of it. Alright, snap there, and we're gonna just move this over here. Alright, that ought to be good. The music here is gonna sound really weird. Yeah, I think the slowed down effect really took most of it. Let's get rid of this as well. Alright, let's just hit save and render it again. This time we're gonna give it a proper file name. Let's call this one output. What a great name. And render the file. And here we can see the file. As it grows, as I keep pressing Ctrl R, the file size, actually it automatically scans the file size from time to time. You can see it keeps increasing, keeps growing. How big was this one? 174. And this one is done. Alright. 28 seconds this time, so let's play it back. So we get our intro with the snow leopard in the background. And it's looking around, and then we have this gorgeous transition to the tiger, and we can hear the music transition as well. And I think we're gonna have a cut. Okay, that was loud music, and I think it failed to... Yeah, that really didn't work with the minus 861%. So apparently, even though you can set it, it's not as reliable as it might be. Huh. Let's just get rid of it. So this is mostly it. Actually, let's get rid of this clip completely. The last thing I want to show you, before I show you how to install kdenlive if you haven't yet, is how to make slideshows. We're just going to make room for this, and we're just going to add some image files. Photos that we have here, let's just drag them in there. So now we have these 6 images. We're going to start with a 4, 5, 6, because just like Star Wars, because they are properly cut to the right size and stretched. We can just drag them in at the same time, and they will have the, I think 5 seconds. Yeah, each of them is 5 seconds long. Now let's see about that. If we go to let's go settings, configure kdenlive. Let's see, color clips, image clips. Here it is. We can change the duration of each clip to, for example, 10 seconds. Was this applied? Right, it will not be useful immediately because we have them, yeah, the duration gets set when you add them to the project. So if we remove them, I just selected them with Shift and hit the delete key on the keyboard. Let's just save again, and let's hope we can just drag them in again, and they get recalculated. Yep, as you can see now there's a 10 seconds below each of these images. So now if we drag them in, there'll be 10 seconds each. So to make them transition, you just do the same thing we did before. You just put them on top of each other with the same delay. Let's go to transitions. You can just search for the dissolve effect transition. Just drag it all over the place. And of course, if you want, you can use some fancier transitions, for example, a wipe. You can also just replace it by... Wait a second, that didn't work. Let's get rid of the dissolve and add the wipe. So if we play back now... Alright, so these 2 images dissolve, and we jump over here, and these 2 images have a wipe. This one didn't quite work. We have to reverse it. Let's try it out again. Okay. Let's try it invert. Alright, that's pretty much what you usually would want, I think. And you can just keep going, and then of course you can add music below it. We're gonna actually get rid of all this stuff, including this transition over here, and just move this all to the left. We can also get rid of tracks. Delete track, video free, confirm, delete this thing, delete this track, confirm, and we're gonna just add one music file to all this and drag it to the left. And let's see, we can also add effects to tracks. Let's hope this works. Save a project first. Gain, we're gonna use the gain for this track. Oh, looks like it worked. And we're gonna set this to 22% this time. Yeah, totally worked. Awesome. So now we have all these transitions. And of course you can rearrange the duration of the image as well. You can stretch it as much as you like. The transitions don't always jump with, but at least they snap to the edges. So it's easy to fix them. Come on now. There we go. But yeah, that's how you do it. You just keep adding images. And that's it. But if you add an image that has a wrong aspect ratio or file size, here's what happens. 1, 2, 3. So if you look at this, let's resize this. This one is too high, and also it has this stuff at the bottom, which we don't really want. This one is just portrait mode. Maybe we want to zoom in. And this one is also a bit off in the aspect ratio way. And the easiest way really is to, let's see, we are in effects, yeah? In effects, search for scale. No, actually, rather than scale, transform is the easiest way. There is no filter called scale, just use transform, just drag it onto all of them. And I think we can copy, oh yeah, we can copy effects as well. So If we get rid of this one again, where's the edge? Here's the edge. If we just configure the scale size in this transform filter effect, I mean, for this image, we can... What? Huh. I was sure it would be centered automatically. Alright, so we have to... I mean, using these buttons is the easiest way to center them. This one and this one. And yeah, we can just zoom in, and then we have to rearrange this again. And if we now copy, we can just jump over here and right-click Paste Effects. Very useful. Or if the images or video files are the same. In this case, not very useful, but still, good attempt. We're gonna zoom in here much more. So much that we don't have any black borders. That's just the easy fix. And then we're gonna center this over here, and then we're gonna manually adjust the Y. I think this is good. Now let's see its paw. A bit more. Okay, this is good. And then finally this one, we are just gonna add another transform effect and zoom in, and then center it, and move a bit to the left. A bit more. Very cute. And a bit down. Actually zoom out a little. Okay. Zoom out some more. Yeah, I like this. Perfect. Perfect. So now we go back to transitions and let's add some more wipes. This wipe is gonna be burst. This wipe is gonna be, let's see now, maybe linear Y. And this final wipe is gonna be, oh, this weird labyrinth. Come on now. Alright, burst we have. Okay, I think I changed the wrong one. Let's add some softness to this one. And it's gonna be a linear, very smooth. Alright, so this is how you make a slideshow. There actually is a feature for adding a slideshow clip. Over here, add slideshow clip, but this one is completely broken, at least in Windows, so forget about that one for now. I think it's actually broken on every system. So this is it. Again, I remind you to subscribe to this channel to support it and bookmark this video for later revisiting. And now I'm going to show to all of you who don't have kdenlive yet how to install it on Windows. I'm just going to render this and then we're going to get started. Let's call this one slideshow. What a show. Alright, I'm leaving kdenlive and we're going to start as if I didn't have it to begin with. So here we have it, the kdenlive homepage, kdenlive.org. The link to it you can find in the description of this video. Just go to the download page, scroll down to Windows, and currently there's this link to the KDE servers. It's a bit messy. There's no clear download button. Hey, it's okay. It's yeah. So hit this link and it'll automatically download 100 megabytes approximately. Problem might be it uses 7-zip, which you might not have installed. You can get it from the 7-zip website if you want. I actually recommend it over WinRAR and any other extraction software on Windows. Hopefully you have the rights to install it actually. What you also need, because I'm convinced that you want H.264/MP4 encoding, is the ffmpeg shared 64-bit build, which is not available here. The link is dead, so just go to Zerano, this link, again in the description, I will add it. Scroll down. Go to Previous Builds, Windows 64-bit builds, go to Shared, and then go down to ffmpeg-3.3.2-Win64 Shared. This one, I'm pretty sure of, works. The other ones, I'm not sure if more modern versions work. This one is the recommended one for this build, 17.12.0. So now we have these two files. I'm just going to right-click 7-zip extract here, and we can see we get two folders, ffmpeg yada 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 and kdenlive yada yada yada. The steps that we have to do now, they are outlined here. I'm just going to walk you through it. Go to the ffmpeg folder, put presets into bin, go into bin, select everything, cut it. I'm pressing Ctrl X for this. Go back, go into the kdenlive folder, and paste it in here, Ctrl V. and replace everything. Alright. We're gonna get rid of ffmpeg folder. Don't delete this stuff, you might have screwed it up. So just keep the zip files in the 7-zip file. Actually, I'm also going to put a link in the description of this video with a pre-packaged zip file that you don't need 7-zip for that contains kdenlive and ffmpeg. I don't know why the team doesn't do it. Maybe it's legal reasons. Anyways, just get the link from the description or combine it yourself if you have trust issues, which you totally should have with strangers from the internet. Back in kdenlive, we have to find the kdenlive.exe file. So let's just double click this one. And it starts with the welcome to kdenlive stuff. And the first thing you really should do is press render and see if you can select MP4, because it's not possible. It's red and disabled if you didn't do the ffmpeg installation properly. But even if you can, you should immediately close kdenlive and just start it again. Basically, that's the instructions, so just do it, otherwise you might have problems. Now you have kdenlive up and running. And I hope you have fun making some videos. So if you just skipped to the end here because you wanted to install it first to follow the tutorial, now is the time to go back to the beginning. If you, however, stayed until the end, I hope you liked this video. I hope it's useful. Again, any questions, write a comment. Hope to see you in the next video. Until then, ciao!